All right guys, a very good and practical question I receive very often in the comment section or from the one-on-one clients is how many sets should I be doing per workout or body part when working out on a total gym? Now, while this is a very simple question, it's also a fairly loaded one considering the unique nature of the total gym, your level of physical fitness, your goals, and how you prefer to even use these machines. But in this video, I'm gonna be as succinct as possible to address that question specifically across a variety of populations from beginner, intermediate to advanced. And then at the end, I'll personally get into what I do, which may or may not surprise some of you guys, but stay tuned to the end of that because there's some good important points to consider when listening to that. As always though guys, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, share your own comments down below. Everything found in this video can be linked down below in the description box. Also check the timestamps down below to help you guys navigate this video. All right, before I get into addressing this, I gotta lay out a few different parameters so we're all kind of on the same page here. First, I'm gonna break this down assuming across levels that you're training each body part at least twice a week. And by body parts, I'm talking about chest, shoulders, back, arms, and legs, and allowing at least a day off between training each body part. And obviously I can't accommodate every single individual program you guys are following, but this applies to essentially everything. If you guys want details on specific programs, go to SciMenTrainer.com. You can sign up the mailing list, get free programs. There's also a programs playlist on the channel if you guys are curious to help guide you guys in that direction. I also even address the overall average rep range I do in the previous video, which I can link down below as well. I'm also not gonna get too specific with each body part, guys. Try to make it pretty basic and generalized here. If I'm referring to say like the shoulders, I'm talking about overhead pressing, lateral raises, frontal raises, rear delt flies, the basic movements. And then when I start laying out the sets for the various populations, if I say 2 to 4 sets, say for chest, I'm talking about 2 to 4 sets per the whole entirety of that workout for that body part. I'm not talking about 2 to 4 sets per each exercise of that body part. So if I say for a beginner, you're gonna do 2 to 4 sets of chest, it could be 4 sets of one specific exercise, or it could be 2 sets of one, say, basic chest press, and then 2 sets of a seated chest fly for a total of 4 sets. I've also stressed many times that while there's hundreds of exercises at your disposal and many more we're discovering here in this channel, it's important to note that really only a handful of exercises is probably all you guys need. Again, made tons of videos like that. I can link that down below in the description box as well. So it really becomes up to you as far as how much variety you want to mix and match, but I always pretty much say choose staple exercises that really effectively work those muscles for you. All right, so first let's talk about my set recommendations for a beginner in a typical workout. Beginner classification is anywhere from like having 0 experience to upwards of maybe up to 3 months of consistent experience with a total gym or just general resistance training. So for chest, I'm gonna recommend a total of 2 to 4 sets. Again, you don't have to be strict across the board, guys. Keep this in an approximate range, but anywhere from, again, from 2 to 4 total sets. Back, same thing, about 2 to 4 total sets of back. Bear in mind, you're working your shoulders in any kind of chest pushing exercise, any kind of back pulling exercise. The shoulders are still kind of getting worked. So I kind of tapered that back a little bit, but by all means, if you guys want to emphasize and build up the shoulders specifically, then definitely skew a little bit higher in that set range. And then when it gets into arms, I might even say arms and or any kind of touch-up work, like maybe calves, if you want to do forearms or something like that. But by and large, I find most people do want to hit the arms specifically for a single joint exercise to kind of highlight. So for arms, I'm recommending, and this is counting triceps in the mix, anywhere from 2 to 4 total sets. So if you're just doing 2, it would be 1 set of biceps, 1 set of triceps. And then legs, because they are a bigger body part, a little bit harder to stress in the total gym. This is always going to be a little bit higher throughout these populations I'm going to be addressing here, guys. So anywhere from 4 to 6 total exercises for a beginner. And then getting into intermediate, I'm going to be breaking this down as someone who's doing something, again, fairly consistent, at least 2 to 4 times a week for at least upwards of 6 months at a minimum. Specifically, I'm more so talking about using the total gym, but this could be other resistance training as well. And so for chest and back, I'm going to be dialing this up a little bit of 3 to 6 sets total. And then for shoulders, dialing it up a little bit higher again, anywhere from 2 to 5 total sets. Arms, we're going up to 4 to 6. That may seem a little high for some of you guys. Again, I'm just assuming that most people like to kind of like the arms and they can handle more stress to them because of the nature of the machine and because they're more of a single joint exercise as compared to say the shoulders. And then with legs, we're dialing it up to around 6 to 10 total sets. That may seem like a lot. And again, with legs is one of those body parts I've said many times, even if it's only 1 or 2 exercises, you can just kind of go to town and do 6 to 10 total sets there, or feel free to mix up different exercises as you guys see fit. And now getting into that advanced category, guys, if that's you, my classification for being advanced is going to be you're working out consistently at least close to a year, averaging around 4 times a week for maybe at least 30 to 60-minute workouts. So this is kind of assuming you can handle and progress up to a higher level of volume when training with the total gym. So with chest and back, you're going to see I'm dialing it up to around 6 to 10 total sets. Notice now I got this little plus icon next to all these sets in this advanced category. And this is now assuming that you can do a little bit more, you can handle a little more stress, so you can kind of dial up that tension, train a little more intuitively. Don't feel like you have to be regimented to a certain set number. If you feel like you can do more, do more. But then as we'll see, when I get to my personal comments, you may even want to taper back a little bit depending on how you're feeling that day. Shoulders, again, we dial up a little higher to 4 to 8 sets. And then going up to arms, again, considering this is arms or any other single joint touch-up work like calves, forearms, like I said, or even some certain like smaller body parts in the shoulders as well, I dialed it up to as high as 6 to 10 total sets. But to emphasize again, we're also still considering the triceps in the mix. And then when we get to legs, guys, I personally am discovering this lately. I've going way beyond 12 plus sets with legs. Sometimes there's only 3 total exercises, and I'm just kind of rotating and supersetting between various exercises, but I'm definitely putting in a high amount of volume with regards to legs. But if I were to personally answer the question, how many sets do? I personally have no idea, nor do I care, and that's kind of the same thing with repetitions. I have a vague idea of an average of what I pretty much do, and I would say by and large, I probably fall in that advanced category of the total set range that I'm doing per body part. But I primarily don't stress about it too much, and that's because, like many of you guys, I recommend to train really instinctively and intuitively. I really try and focus really primarily on 3 things that dictate the total number of sets I'm doing and just how I'm structuring my workouts at large. And that's number 1, am I primarily focusing on stressing my muscles through various exercises? So if I'm not feeling it that particular day, maybe I'm too sore or maybe I need more work, I'll dial it up or dial it down. It also goes in the same ballpark for how I'm gauging my repetitions and also a certain exercise. If the exercise isn't working that particular day, I'll call an audible and switch up a different exercise. But I'm overall focusing on stressing that specific body part, stressing that muscle as much as I can. Then the next thing, of course, that dictates my total sets is just avoiding total pain and discomfort. If something isn't feeling good, something's feeling iffy, I'm getting these warning signs, like kind of signs more so wear and tear in my joints, tendons and ligaments, something like that. I'll pump the brakes a little bit and I'll taper back the total sets or volume. And then finally, and I'd say probably most important, is I want to make sure I'm having a good, fluid, and fun workout. Of course, this might not be the most objective, scientifically based layout of my program, but by and large, I would rather take something that's more fun, interesting, intuitive, gets me in the zone. Likely I'm going to stay more consistent versus something that's more regimented and dialed in, but I'm not really enjoying the training, because at the end of the day, across exercise and diet, and I've stressed this many times, you guys have probably heard this, the most important variable is keeping yourself consistent and maintaining a good high level of exercise adherence. And the odds are that the more you are consistent, the more you're gonna find that ideal rep range that works for you, not just in totality, but workout to workout. So in a nutshell, guys, that's really it. I would love to hear your guys' comments on personally what you guys do. I know a lot of you guys follow and actually do like kind of regimented set workouts, set rep schemes, so definitely share those down below what works for you guys. As always though, guys, if you guys do like the video, again, please likely share the video. Greatly appreciate you guys watching. Leave your comments down below and I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you.